15 minutes of Game Day Uncensored. We are just a little over a week from the Dolphins opener against the Chargers. And you will get Game Day Uncensored here on 560 QAM 4 hours prior to every Dolphins game this season. And it's Brendan Tobin and Omar Kelly and Alejandro Solana. I did see today David Furones tweeted out Mike McDaniel still not ready to name the backup quarterback for the Dolphins. So I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know if he really hasn't made up his mind. There's nothing really else to go on, right? Like he's not going to see something in the next week that would change his mind. So I don't know if that's like a game. I don't want to say a game like a pejorative, but like a game that he's playing with the media. I don't know why. I'm trying to figure out ever since I read the tweet, like, what is the benefit of saying I'm not ready yet to name the backup quarterback? Is he looking for something over the next week from either Mike White or Skylar Thompson? Does he want to make it look like it really was more of a battle, even though I think we all kind of assume Mike White is going to be the number 2 guy?
Yeah, the gamesmanship of it, Hawk, the game with the media doesn't make any sense. Like it's a backup quarterback. Yeah. But the game, even with other teams, that doesn't matter. Like I've broke down thousands of hours of film. I played for 6 years. 6 times 15, can't even do the math, 100 games or whatever. No defensive coordinator is worried about if the backup comes in, they're going to do this. Like, it's not a gamesmanship thing. I think it's for his players, because if I'm Skylar, I'm looking and saying, I played in a number of preseason games. Mike White's coming off concussion protocol. So how can you make a guy that didn't play a lot and got hurt the only game he played in play over me? I think Mike White will be the backup if Tua was to go down. Knock on every damn piece of wood I've ever looked at in my life. But if Tua goes down, I believe Mike White's going to be the guy. I think it's for Skylar, to be honest, that Skylar's looking at it like, hey, this guy that hasn't played any snaps is automatically over me on the depth chart. That hurts my feelings.
I would be unbelievably surprised if Mike White is not listed as the number 2 quarterback come game time. Would you, Solana? Or do you think there's an actual chance that Skylar Thompson is the backup quarterback?
Had you asked me prior to this preseason finale, I would have told you it's Skylar's job.
You're right. I'm with you. Before because Skylar did not do himself any favors in game 3.
He did not, but same thing Crowder just said. Well, Mike White didn't play. What's to say Mike White had gone in there and once again hadn't proven himself, hadn't distanced himself from Skylar Thompson? I just think at this point it's process of elimination. Skylar Thompson didn't look great in the preseason finale, and Mike White got paid to be the backup, so he's ultimately going to be the backup. I don't think either of those guys did themselves any favors during the offseason and through training camp to solidify themselves. To me, that's a big concern as well, where you paid somebody to come in to be the backup, and he didn't prove to you that he deserves outright to be the backup.
And to be honest, I just looked up because I was going to argue like Mike White is this, savvy veteran quarterback. He's played in 8 games in his career. He started 7. He's 2-5, 62% completion percentage, 8 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Mike White is not a world beater, but Mike White has more experience in the NFL. And like Solana just said, you brought him in just like you brought in Jacoby Brissett, just like you brought in Teddy Bridgewater. You brought him in to be the backup to Tua. You paid him to be the backup. Mike White's going to be second on the depth chart.
Yeah, it was just that moment in time where in New York, and it's the biggest media market, it was just that moment in time where you saw something that you rarely see happen on an NFL team, which is the players liked their backup more than their starting quarterback. Remember, Zach Wilson, I think he was inactive for a game. Didn't he say something that rubbed everybody the wrong way after a game? Yeah. It was a press conference or something.
He blamed the defense when he played bad or something.
You're right.
Weird. Yeah.
And they made a statement, the defense. Remember, they all wore those white t-shirts.
Yeah.
Coming off the bus into the tunnel for the game.
So he was like a little bit of a sensation, a media sensation, certainly NFL media last season. But like you say, it's not like he went out there and put up Brock Purdy numbers. It was, Zach Wilson, if I remember correctly, he had the job back by the end of the season, didn't he?
Yes, they started.
Yeah.
But Zach Wilson and Mike White, like, it's like saying, hey, you want some green bean casserole? Not a big fan. You want some liver pie? I'll take the green bean casserole.
Right.
Like Zach Wilson is terrible, and
Liver
his personality is liver pie. So Mike White gaining friends over Zach Wilson, hell, I think
But green bean casserole, I just want to say this: green bean casserole is not something that you just go, "Oh, okay, fine." Like green bean casserole is really good. Like that's a great side item.
It's
you put
it's
the
a
little
mediocre.
crispy onions on the top. You get the cream of onion soup in there.
It's the only part of the green bean casserole people like. It's the crispy onions. That's why you like it.
I happen to love green beans. Do you not like I love, cold raw green beans. You don't like that?
Like raw green beans, like celery stick?
Raw?
Yeah, it's a vegetable. Like
but you
eat a raw carrot. You
steam green beans, and then they taste like decent.
No, I love a plain crunchy green bean.
Ooh.
Cut off the ends.
You can't eat all vegetables raw. That's terrible. That's disgusting.
Well, you can,
but you don't want to.
You can eat anything raw.
Yeah, you take a bite out of potato. Hey, give me that potato.
Not a potato, jackass, but celery, carrots, sprouts, green, everything you put in a salad. Everything you put in a salad. Yeah.
Oh, he got that old stomach, Solana. They need roughage.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. If you go to the salad bar at Whole Foods, that's not cooked broccoli in there.
No, that's why the pile is always so big.
Of course. Nobody
You don't put broccoli on your salad?
Mm-mm.
So you have to have your broccoli covered in cheese and butter?
I need a little heat on it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
A little microwave at least. I need a little warm to it.
You're not even getting the vitamins. It's not even a superfood the way that you eat it. The way that I eat it, it's a superfood. You don't even know how to, you got to get the vitamins.
You're trying to flush your system.
Yeah, you got to flush your system. You're trying to clog it up, covering it with cheese. There's your 15 minutes of Game Day Uncensored. Green bean casserole's fire. That's good,
I can't stand. I actually
really.
Oh my goodness, my wife's sister is having a get together, and I'm cooking for it. And I was like, "What are the sides?" And green bean casserole came up, and I took myself out of the thread.
What? Who dislikes green bean casserole that much?
Anybody under 75.
Wow. That's just a shame.
That's popular on Thanksgiving too. A little green bean casserole.
Sure.
But there's a reason why there's always green bean casserole leftovers. Nobody wants to eat that next to their turkey. It's just there. It's something you have to make.
The only one getting it, Solana, is Meemaw. Meemaw's eating it
right.
With her teeth.
There's mac and cheese leftovers. There's turkey leftovers. There should be leftovers. You can't just make a little, Cornish game hen. It's always a funny punchline. The Cornish game hen.
I'm going to do that one time I cook. Make a bunch of sides and one little...
one tiny Cornish game hen.
You want the wing? Who wants the wing?
Great joke.